This video is just going to be me gushing about new Pokemon Snap for however long this video is. I'm not sure. I'm not writing a script. I figured that just going stream of consciousness for a video like this would feel a lot more natural, and I'll be able to get thoughts out better than if I tried to force a narrative out of my ideas. So let's talk about it. New Pokemon Snap finally has a release date, and it's so close to the day that it is right now, and I'm very excited about that. I want to play this game now. The internet had all sorts of takes that really were just recycled takes from the last time they showed new Pokemon Snap, which, if we're being real, is not all that different from the last time they talked about anything Pokemon. There's always going to be that group of people that somehow brings the last mainline Pokemon game into the conversation about whatever the newest, unrelated Pokemon thing is. When Pokemon Sleep finally comes out, you're going to hear people complain about Pokemon Sword and Shield in the comments section, in the replies, so on and so forth. But Pokemon Snap in particular, I think, is a different sort of situation, because rather than that fan base being vehemently angry in relation to Pokemon Sword and Shield and then spinning that anger into anger towards the next thing, they're actually a lot more positive towards new Pokemon Snap and still retroactively negative towards Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm very excited for this game, and if I would have told myself that 2-3 years ago, I would have never believed that for a few reasons. I kind of thought about the game in the same way that I think a lot of people think about Pokemon Snap, and it's just taking pictures of Pokemon, and who really cares about that? In retrospect, Pokemon Snap is kind of the Pokemon game that I want regular Pokemon to be, in the sense that it focuses so much on emergent gameplay. So much of the game is the game interfacing back with you after you exert your will on it. If any Pokemon game in existence is going to be the new Breath of the Wild, it's this game, and that is all because of the emergent gameplay. The coolest thing to me about the experience of playing Breath of the Wild was the moments that come from you just messing around in the world and something coming of that experiment that you just want to share with the rest of the real world. You trick the Guardian into attacking the Lionel or the Stone Talus and see them fight each other, and you just gotta post it on Twitter because that's incredible. And I think the Pokemon Snap formula has a very similar appeal to it. There are similar moments to that when you throw the Pester Ball into the water and Magikarp jumps out, or things like knocking the Charmeleon into the volcano so he evolves into Charizard, or you throw the apple onto the surfboard and Pikachu walks over to it in an homage to the surfing Pikachu from Pokemon Yellow. All that stuff is emergent gameplay. Now, with much powerful hardware, much more experience in game development, and just more efficient game development practices, we're bound to see a lot more of that, with a lot more possibilities for people to discover for now and likely years from now. And don't get me wrong, that's not me saying that I think that this game is going to be as ambitious as Breath of the Wild, but I do think that it will have a very similar appeal, at least in the short term. I know there is a complaint that the gameplay itself isn't as engaging, which I agree with. It is, at the end of the day, just pointing a cursor at a thing and pressing a button, but people love shooters, and that's exactly what shooters are too. The only difference is you can't make Charmander bleed, and I think if that is enough for you to dislike a game, you're a monster and shouldn't be allowed to play video games in the first place. In regular Pokemon, it's math. It's, if you do this attack, it'll do this much damage. This Pokemon might die, it might have an ability to help it out a little bit, it might do a counter attack, so on and so forth, but at the end of the day, 1 + 1 will always equal 2. And that's not to say that new Pokemon Snap, or especially the older Pokemon Snap, isn't that in a way. Anything that has code involved has math involved, but it feels like the world responds to your actions, and that is what makes these games so special. And that is what I think is going to make new Pokemon Snap specifically significantly more than the original game, because they're able to do so much more. They're able to add so many different interactions. There's so many more Pokemon that they can fit in, and yeah, because of the visuals, it's going to be that much more immersive. And of course, there's still the question of how long is this game going to be? Should it be $60? Whether or not people are going to be happy with the answer they arrive to, because those are very personal questions, is going to be dependent on the answer to the other questions in relation to each other, if that makes any sense. Basically what I'm saying is, if the price point is high and the story's long, that's fine. If the story is short but the price point, which, I mean, we know the game's $60, but if the story is long enough and there's enough stuff to go back and replay and try new things and see if Heracross is going to attack you if you throw this at his friend or whatever, you know, stuff like that. And then we got to go back to the Sword and Shield comparisons. There's a lot of people that are talking about, oh, since this looks like this, the next Pokemon game better look like this too. The next Pokemon game is going to be so disappointing because it's probably not going to look like that, blah, blah, blah. But really, we don't even know if that's the case, because the problem with Pokemon Sword and Shield is that they didn't have the time and resources to remodel the world to be fitting to a whole new generational leap, because there's 1,000 Pokemon to remodel. But who's to say this project isn't them in part working toward that in the same way that Pokemon Let's Go was effectively a game to help them in their transition for the mainline games in the beginning. It is interesting to note that while I will continue beating the drum that Pokemon has never really been this technical marvel that any game ever aspired to be, the Pokemon console games, like the N64 games specifically, kind of were. Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, and Hey You Pikachu look to all borrow models from each other, and I think that could be happening here. So if people are really excited about the look of this world and the Pokemon in it and new Pokemon Snap, maybe the next Pokemon game, not the remakes, but Gen 9, could benefit from the development of these games. And that brings Bandai Namco to mind. Seriously, Nintendo recently acquired Next Level Games, and that's a huge deal because they don't typically make company acquisitions in this way. But if there's any other company on this planet right now that Nintendo should acquire, it's Bandai Namco, 100%. Just in the last few years, they've helped with the development of this game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Imagine how much they could help out the development of every Pokemon game moving into the future, and of course new iterations in the series that they've recently lended a hand to. And while I'm on this topic, I want to refer to a prompt that I left in our Discord asking supporters to let me know if they have anything that they want to contribute to the video, be it questions on things that they want me to talk about pertaining to Pokemon Snap. And Mega Man said, do we know if they are using the same engine from Pokemon Sword and Shield? If not, how would this engine impact further games in development? And I kind of already talked about this as far as models go, but no, I do not think that they're using the same engine as Pokemon Sword and Shield, but the models themselves could very well help in the future. Maybe if they do go in the direction that we've been hinting at as far as battle systems go, where it moves into more of a if this then that line of thought with the battle system, it could impact the future of Pokemon games. But while we're still in the RPG inspired turn-based battle system, I don't think that these engines are going to have anything to do with each other. I will say though, although I'm not as negative towards the whole graphical prowess of Pokemon, I do hope that this game does have some sort of lasting effect on the way Pokemon is seen by Pokemon Company. I do hope that people are right about the idea that Pokemon will feel like they can't go back from this, because the game does look great, and that isn't even just in relation to the graphics. Just think of how much more it seems that they're paying attention to the narrative. Like, what's going on with Meganium? Why is that the Pokemon that they chose to focus on in the trailer? Like, it's the chosen one. Who gives a crap about Meganium any other day of the week? I know that there's going to be somebody in the comments being like, my favorite Pokemon was Meganium. You did not like Meganium. I know that if you use Meganium, you hated it because it was garbage. It was a bad choice. But I digress. It seems that there is a lot more narrative in new Pokemon Snap than there ever was in old Pokemon Snap, because the narrative in that game was literally just Professor Oak telling you to take pictures of Pokemon for who knows what reason. This time though, it seems like there will be some sort of beginning, middle, and end, and maybe we'll have more of a connection to this thing, seeing as though we at least know that there's a male and female option for the player character. Maybe there's some customization there. So far, we haven't seen any melanin in any of these characters, but maybe that changes. Who knows? We don't know anything. The greatest thing about all of this though is that this game isn't even that far away, so we don't have to wait that long long for answers. I'm very excited for the end of April. I will be streaming this game on twitch.tv/fanatixfour, and I will be talking about this more, maybe in a scripted format in the future here on this channel. Thank you for watching this video. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to turn out structure-wise because this is new territory for me. Usually, like I said, I write a long script and I read off of that to the letter. Maybe I add things here and there if I think of it as I'm recording, but this is completely unscripted. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on new Pokemon Snap are there as well. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for more videos like it every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you didn't know already, we do podcasts every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time over on our podcast channel directly to you. And I've been streaming 3 times a week, every week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time over on Twitch, twitch.tv/fanatixfour. Okay, that's it for me. See you later today on Twitch if you go follow over there. Goodbye.